Hey guys, welcome back to 92 Diaries. It's the podcast. Every other Tuesday we are here and we are back with another episode. Welcome your hosts, Miss Chardz,
Juliet,
and V.
And today's episode is wrapping up the 2019 year. This is big, guys. It's the end of the year. We did a lot. I don't know about y'all, but I did a lot.
so we come to the end of the road. Okay. My bad. Sorry, my bad.
Oh, no, backup singer.
I just wanted to let you have your moment. I wasn't gonna.
It has been a long year. OMG. It's been long.
I think it's been short.
Okay. Why do you feel like
I blinked and it was done. I really don't know where the last year has gone. Normally I feel like years drag out, but it was fast. I'm not quite ready for it to be over, I must say.
Has it been a good year for you guys, or has it been a tough year? Has it been challenging?
A bit of both, but
I'm not gonna lie, I damn near tripped into this year, right?
Yay.
I wasn't ready. I didn't have I went to Miami at the end of last year for my Christmas. So I was borderline in between two continents when it was New Year. So I don't even know which New Year I actually celebrated, whether it was, Miami, Florida's one, or whether it was Britain's one. So I tripped. And then when I got into the new year, I was like, around January, I was still kind of waiting for results as to whether I was actually going to be on my independent prescribing or not. And again, I got that notification a week before. I was less than a week. I think it was like 3 days before I was due to start the course. So it's not like I had like mentally planned and be like, yes, January, I'm starting. I was on a waiting list that looked like it was never going to happen. So I tripped into that, and then I had to reschedule myself, and then I had ended my previous job in December and was starting a new one, and then in January I became self-employed, or beginning of February I became self-employed again. So everything kind of like, it didn't have structure. It's not like I normally do. I'm normally someone who sits there and is like, right, this is the goal for next year, this is what I want to achieve, this is where I'm starting in Jan. I'm very like methodological, but I tripped into this year, but thank God, like, it has kind of worked out. There are certain things that I did actually want to achieve, even though I didn't like plan them as properly as I wanted to, or in a most organized way that I wanted to, but I have achieved them. So I'm very, very thankful for this year. I can only ever give glory to God for everything that has happened and everything that I've achieved in this year. And I can only look forward to next year because I have a bit more structure for next year this time, even though I'm still coming from abroad into the new year. But this time I know where I'm going. I'm focused. I got structure. I'm organized. I got my butts in a row.
Thank God.
Honestly. Fee?
Okay. Dropping the spotlight on me.
I'm gonna jump to Julie.
Huh?
I was like, hey, listen, what? You can't be dropping like, wow.
What did she say?
I said I'm jumping to Julie. You're cancelled.
Is this how I finish in the year? Wow.
Oh.
Look at that. She has said she has more structure, and now she has just placed a structure
so
over your head.
I'm guessing one of her goals for next year is to be savage.
Apparently so. Well, what can we say, eh?
Wow.
You got to start off the year with a bang, apparently. Wow.
That wasn't a bang, bruv. That was full-on explosion C4 bomb.
Pachoo!
Yeah.
Okay, please go ahead, Fee.
No, because now I really don't know. Julie, you take the floor.
Oh. Well. No, but I think 2019 has been a massive year of personal growth for me. I think there has been a level up that I never I can't even say I never expected, because I know what I prayed for and it has surely come to pass. And I remember at the end of 2018 being at church on 31st night, and when your heart is like broken, and I have never come to God like this. I was like, I need a transformation, because honestly I am tired. And I remember like a lot of people kind of were on the same sort of thing. And you know when you're praying and you're singing a song and you're like, and you know the song that was playing, it was the anthem. I wish I could. I can't think of the actual name of the artist, but the song's called The Anthem, and it's one of my favorite songs to sing in church. And I remember feeling like, nah, I need things to change. And it was a slow sort of start to the year, but I know come about May, like the discipline that I was able to like sort of work towards, like trying to like get certain fitness goals in, making sure I was getting certain work done, certain amounts of work done, making sure that I sort of chose to prioritize my happiness in a way that I'd never had before. The growth has been incredible, and I feel like right now the joy that I have, I can really say, is my own. It's not coming from anywhere else. I'm not dependent on anyone else for it. I'm not feeling like I need anyone to validate that for me. And I thank God that it took a year, but we're here now and we living. And we gonna keep growing in the 2020, in a 2020 vision. I'm actually not.
Yes. Yes, girl, yes.
Oh, now it's my turn. I honestly don't. I don't know. I know a lot has happened in the last year, and don't get me wrong, I am very grateful for everything that has happened in the last year, but maybe it's because it wasn't a year of something, there's always that one event in a year that kind of pretty much takes center stage, and that's how you sum up your year around that big thing that happened, whether it was good or bad, and then you kind of reflect on the rest. But nothing happened. Something happened, but nothing happened. That doesn't make sense. Let me tell you why. At the beginning of this year, I was in a whole other country. Fair enough, it's not like it's on the other side of the world or anything, but I was somewhere else. And then halfway through the year, I have now moved again. I have shifted my entire life around. I no longer live with my brother. I live by myself. I am literally independent. I am on my own. I am taking on this big wide world by myself. That in itself is a big thing. Yeah, I can't shake the feeling. I'm not processing it like it's a big thing. Now, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird, and maybe that's why I don't feel entirely settled in the year, because I don't feel like I've come to terms with anything major that may have happened for me. And that sounds a bit like I'm being ungrateful, but honestly I'm not, because I'm so grateful to be where I am, have the support network that I have, the family that I have, the roof over my head that I have, and the work, like the job that I have, which I very much enjoy. But maybe that's why like I said earlier, I don't feel like the year is quite over yet, and we still got like a couple of days left. But it's like, well, not a couple of days left. We've not got a couple of days left. We've got tomorrow. Sorry. See, and that in itself is just, that shows my perception of time. It's like I'm further back somewhere else, and I don't know what this next year is going to bring, and I know there will be ups and there will be downs, and there will be highs and there will be lows. Will I be prepared? Probably not. Do I know what to expect? Probably not. Is that a good thing? I don't know. But God is with me, so I'm sure I'll be fine. And if there's anything that I have been praying for in the uncertainty, it's just for God to help me open my eyes, my ears, my mouth, my heart, my soul, everything that I am, to being able to hear his responses as well as yield to them. Because it's one thing for me to keep talking at God, I want this and please help me achieve that and all of that, but if I'm not hearing God's responses, then it's kind of like it's for naught. And I think going forward, that's something I need to work on, because I've gotten very good at asking God and thanking God and praising God, but have I really been listening? And I think that's something I need to work on, because don't get me wrong, things are happening, God is doing things in my life, but it's like, am I truly listening? Sorry, I think I just went proper deep there for a second.
No, you don't have to apologize. I think it's a valid point, to be honest.
But I mean, all of this is about reflection, so if that's your reflection on the year, I think it's very valid, and you need to, I think it's mandatory, it's very important that we all have a reflection on what we have done well and what we've not done so well, and how we can improve going forward. And spotting your weaknesses can only make you stronger, and identifying where you've done badly or where you've not done so well, or where you need to improve, is the only thing that's going to make you stronger. So you know the areas where you can work. And I encourage everybody to do that. I know my flaws. I need to get my fitness back on fleek. I used to be really good at it, but my whole schedule has been ridiculous. But hopefully with the structure that I've been talking about for my next year, I should be able to achieve that goal and really get my fitness back on fleek.
I'm sure you will.
I think when it comes to, I guess, thinking about what I want for 2020, I know a big thing for me is, I guess similar to Chardz, really, like not necessarily per structure, but it's more about how I prioritize things, because I realize that I've tried to like take on more things as I've been feeling more and more confident in building on my discipline, but you can't do everything at once, not well anyway, not for me. And I think if I want to be able to do things well and give things their appropriate attention, I'm going to have to learn to prioritize things, and not everything is going to be my top priority. Some things are going to take precedent over others, and I have to learn that at times it might mean having to put something that will give me that instant gratification to the side, which is sad for me because I like instant gratification. But I think sometimes if you really want to be about trying to build discipline for yourself, shade, you're gonna have to like learn to kind of just, put things on the back burner and keep it moving. Listen, I don't know what you're about to say, yeah, but it better be something that, you know what, let me just.
You got me laughing so hard, my dimple is showing. Wow.
So what are your goals, guys, for 2020?
Well, I think my first goal really would be to kind of get the end of my 4th year of medical school done in good stead. We're gonna try. Continue to work on a couple of personal projects that I have in mind, and start working towards actually building certain plans, because a girl's trying to have, a couple things going for her in a couple of years' time. She got to start putting in work now. So,
See?
More productivity. When I was in Wales, before I moved, I got into a really good routine of working, going gym, and then doing all of my other little thingies after I'd get back from work. I got into a really good routine of doing that. I need to get back to that. So it's basically similar to you, Chardz, and similar to you as well, Jules. It's like I need to just get back to that. I had it was great. I had my you remember that planner I got us?
That
planner it's so good, because it really gets you to think about what it gets you to think about what
this ain't sponsored, by the way, no shade.
No. The passion planner and the happiness. I have probably 3 planners. I'm not gonna lie. I use 3 planners at the same time. I'm just one of those people who likes having planners and writes the same repetitive list in different planners. And I like ticking boxes. Like I like ticking off tasks. It gives me that. Ooh, done something, rewarded type of feeling. So the passion planner is really good. It helps you to focus on a monthly goal, and then at the end of that month you reflect. I got out of doing that. It was really, really good, but it helped to realign my focus, because, life gets in the way, things, there are hiccups along the road. So I want to get back into that, and I need to buy another one. Actually, that's probably going to be all of your Christmas presents, to be fair. Just throwing it out there. And also, it's going back to number 1 man in my life, God. Like I said, I just want to be able to open my heart up even more to God, and really, like I said, really get on board with being able to yield and not feeling that spoilt brat feeling when I don't get my way. Just accept and continue. And I also want to be used to be a blessing in somebody else's life. Like it's all well and good to, want all these things for yourself, but I look at the people around me, like people are suffering in this world, and if there's anything I can do just to even make somebody smile or laugh, or make them think I'm a silly idiot, which I can be, or just help them out, give them advice, help them with their anything. I just want to be used in that way, because I feel like we as human beings, we get so wrapped up in ourselves, but maybe every once in a while we can take the time out to help our fellow brothers and sisters as well. So that is another goal as well.
I'll share mine with you guys. Mine's split into kind of like two parts. So the bigger picture is something that looks like a box with me in the middle and God at the center. So at the center, it's me and God. God is at the center of my life, essentially. And then it's like a picture of me because he's in me, etc. I don't have to go into that, but you guys understand it. And then the four corners of my life in general is health, wealth, self, and knowledge. So those are the four areas that I am generally working on, and those are important to me, and I'm working on as a life goal. Now, specifically for 2020, I call it the triple F squared.
What?
Now let me explain. The triple
Wait,
F
say it again. Say
triple S squared.
F.
Triple F?
F for Freddie.
F for like Fahana. Why would you go Freddie when you know my
name
name
is Freddie?
Oh my god. Guys, you know what? Never mind. Phonetics.
If you're gonna do F, do it the right way.
Alpha, B for Bravo. C
yeah,
for
and F is Foxtrot, not Freddie.
Trust me, I was thinking, who the hell is Freddie? Like, what's going on here?
Freddie,
and I was like, why would you pick
I
Freddie
changed
over
mine.
me?
Mine's gangster. I changed my phonetics. It's gangster. Anyway, triple F squared. Now, what that means for me, so for me, it's fitness, finance, friends, and family. That's my triple F squared. So those are the things I'm going to be focusing on for next year, 2020. I've already spoken about the fitness part. Finance wise, it's not that I have difficult times, but I made quite an extensive or good amount this year, but I spent a lot this year. So next year it's not about the spending. This year was about the spending, to be fair, because there were things that needed to be done that required that, but it's going to be more about the saving and investing next year.
Amen. Testify to that, sister friend.
So keeping my finances in check, okay?
Yeah,
Making flaky finances.
Financially independent woman is a sensible woman. There
yes. I also forgot to mention I have a budget planner.
Okay. So the last F is an F squared, which is family and friends. And I mean, my family are generally the closest people to me, and then there's selected friends that are, again, like really close and people in my life. And it's about reconnecting with those and trying to make an not forceful, but like
active
attempt to be in their company, to have time with them, for them, and actually spend time together. I think everyone's lives are very busy, very hectic, and that can cause people to drift apart, and that's not what I'm trying to do. Obviously, I don't want to drift apart from anyone, so I'm really trying to reconnect with friends and make sure that family-wise we all stay on the same page and we still stay connected, because my family is really tight knit, but again, it's very easy to allow life to get in the way. So really want to concentrate on bringing those two things back and making them, really at the center, tight, with that gravity pull, that strong gravity pull there. So mine's a triple F squared goal for 2020.
Oh damn, you guys got like structure in that too. I'm like,
not really. I don't think I do. I don't think I do. All I mentioned was I have an excessive amount of planners.
I have a giant calendar.
I ain't got shit.
Literally, there is space on my wall for a giant planner. I just haven't found a giant planner. I've even got a things to do today. Although at the moment it's got a travel list on it, but things to do today.
This is why I forget everything, because I don't write everything down.
Yeah, no. And then I've also got a board, like a little white board where I just write little bits and bobs just to prompt me and remind me. This is a personal goal though. Because obviously you guys know I've been like doing a lot of locuming work and stuff on the weekends, but I'm trying to get away from that. So not to say I don't want to locum, I will still locum, but it's gonna be after like in the week rather than.
Maybe it's for the benefit of our listeners. Could you explain what locuming is? Because not everyone knows what locuming is.
So locuming is basically like when you work not for an agency, but you're basically working independently for yourself. So you have to kind of do your own self-declaration of tax, etc. But you normally tend to like look for agencies to find not shift work, but kind of like the way like nurses do shift, like bank work. Yeah.
Bank,
so it's like being a bank worker, except we call it locuming.
Because it's not with a
specific company. It's not with like a specific company.
Any type of pharmacy, any type
like,
of company.
Chardz could do Day Lewis one day and then Lloyd's the next, and she's free to do so. And I could do like
not employed
Tesco,
by that company.
And I could do Tesco today and Asda tomorrow. Yeah, basically you are your own self-employed business. You are the business. Yeah, essentially. So,
and on that track, I'm specifically the same. Like I just want to work from Monday to Friday. I've set up myself in a good way where I can do that, and I'm really taking out my weekends now. My weekends needs to be for one of those Fs. One of the last F. The
friends and family.
The friends and family.
I agree. That's what it is, because that like I'm 10,021.2 degrees on board with that. That figure don't even make sense.
I was like, what?
What is wrong with me? But yeah, no, I'm completely on. A friend of mine did say to like, don't you get so tired of like having to sacrifice? Like the dispenser asked me this weekend, so she's like, so when do you rest? And I was like, never. And she was like, you're crazy. I was like, well, this is life.
You know what though, there is something in the fact that a lot of the time, especially for a lot of women our age who are kind of trying to get towards certain goals, especially when it comes to their career, they put all of that first, and then when they look around, the only person around them is they're literally on their own, because all they've done is prioritize their work. And I feel like it's good that we're talking about the fact that actually we're seeking balance now. We're not just trying to just work on just our career. We're actually like, nah, I want a career, but I also want my family, I want my friends, I want this in place, I want that in place, I'm putting my self-care in place, I'm putting my fitness in place. It's important that you kind of have those things in mind, because moving into the new year, you want to have the right things in mind to keep moving forward.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
It's all about the balance.
So guys, what would you say to your viewers, your listeners, as to your biggest takeaway from 2019 and your biggest perspective for 2020?
I would say that my biggest take home from this year is that you can really surprise yourself when you put your mind towards something. If you want it bad enough, it sounds very cliche, but you can definitely get it. Don't get me wrong, it's tough, and sometimes you want to scream at a wall, but if you're willing to put in the work, 9 times out of 10 you'll get there. And I've seen that time and time again in my life, especially this year. In terms of moving forward for the new year, I would say, don't be afraid to concentrate on you, and as we just mentioned towards the end, actually, like, don't forget like how important it is to have balance within your life. Like, don't get me wrong, aim for the stars when you're writing down your goals. Aim for the stars every time, but don't forget that you are more than just a to-do list. You're a whole person. You're allowed to take time to actually rest, recuperate, and just take the time to just actually enjoy yourself. That's one thing I got to do this year that I feel like I really did. Like, I enjoyed myself. My summer was fantastic. So I feel like aim for the stars, but don't forget, even the stars, just work hard, guys, but play hard too. That's it. Have a great year.
You know what? This literally just came to me now, and it was like an epiphany. See, God's already moving in my life. He just gave me the answer now. It's not mad. It's just That's bad. Anyway, basically, it's okay to have years of peace. Peace and tranquility. Overall, I would say it's been a very peaceful year. I've enjoyed it. Nothing astronomical has happened. I have really taken on board living by myself and making the most of my time, and that's what this year has been about for me, just to find a better sense of peace. And even though I say I'm not ready for the year to be over, I don't really get a choice in what happens in this world, I have realized, and life goes on and I have to go on with it. So ready or not, I'm gonna go into 2020 with my big girl panties on and my brave face. And I'm sure whatever comes my way or whatever I walk into, I'll be ready to meet it head on. There might be cries and there might be pain and there might be joy, but I will definitely be toasting to the end of this year. And girls, I hope you join me in this metaphorical toast. So cheers.
Clink, clink, clink.
To 2019, innit? And 2020, ready or not, here I come.
Yes. My massive takeaway from 2019 has been patience and resilience. That they do pay off, and resilience is something that we actively do, and we put the strength and the effort into it. Like Juliet said, sometimes it's hard and it will be hard. I think nothing good comes easy, but with that resilience, keep pushing and you will get it. But the other thing that is silent that we don't always pay attention to is the patience part, and sometimes it just takes time. Sometimes it's just a waiting game. Sometimes you just need to be patient about the situation, about your situation, about what you're doing, about how you're doing it. Just be patient and the results will show. So those are two massive things. The third thing I did take away from 2019 is second chances. I kind of had experience a little while ago where I was like, you know what, second chances are bullshit. If you don't get the first time, that's it, it's done. No, that's not the case. And I feel like I've learned that if you don't get it the first time, try and try again. And there is something as a second chance, and there is something like if the door is closed, there's the window. Do you know what I mean? So there's other options and there's other ways to go about what you are trying to achieve. And sometimes it does take someone maybe being more humble than the other. Sometimes it does take a patience and to sit in game. Sometimes it takes a different mode of work completely. But just because it failed the first time, or it didn't work out, or it was, and I'm talking in a wide scope, I could be referring to relationships, business plans, whatever, even a goal that you set for yourself. If it didn't work out the first time, don't give up, just keep trying, and it should come through. So going into 2020, my perspective is essentially dreams and goals, always is, but dream to have a goal. Don't just set your goals as we have short-term goals, we have long-term goals, but dream. Just the way Jill has said, reach for the stars, dream. But whilst you're dreaming, don't forget the people on the side of the road. It can be a lonely journey when you are just focusing on your dream and your goal. And to make it worth it in the end, when you finally achieve your dream and your goal, is those people around you, is having that support network, which we've talked about in many other podcasts. And it's just about the balance, like Jill said as well. So reaching that goal, yes, sometimes it may take twice as long in order to reach your goal or your dream, because you are considering these other factors in terms of having these people in your life, spending time with other people, and considering all these other aspects. But it'll be more worth it. It'll be much more well-rounded and worth it in the end than to like spend the 5 years instead of 10 going for gold and only be sitting at the top of the mountain on your own, on your J's. So yeah, that's me. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope it was a bit reflective, and even if it's not really up your alley as to what we've said about our prospects and our takeaways from 2019. Hopefully we've given you a little bit of insight to think about what you want to do, and what you want to take away from 2019 and what you want to do for 2020. And we just really kind of come from the position where nothing is impossible, guys. Nothing. Put your mind to it. Say whether it's structure that you need, whether it's a to-do list that you need, whether it's 50,000 planners that you need, whether it's a giant calendar, you know, whether less structure is your thing and you just need to be resilient, whether you need to scream at walls. I suggest you have a padded safe space if you're violent, or you have physical, if you have a physical way of showing your aggression.
I think we're going on a tangent.
When you're struggling, sometimes you might need to punch a wall or two. Sometimes you just need to shout. I'm just saying, frustration can be real.
I think what Chardz is trying to say is state your dreams with your chest and be ready for the repercussions. Yeah. And with that, thank you and good night.
We'll see you next time. Remember, we are here every other Tuesday. We're on Spotify, Anchor, YouTube. Tune in, share, like, subscribe, and we'll be here
next year. 2020.
Yeah, guys. Have a great
loading.
Don't get too carried away. Please spend it in a responsible environment. Don't be doing any higgy haga higgy.
And just for the benefit of the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! We out of here. Good
Bye.
Bye.